The nation and the world said their final goodbyes to President George H.W. Bush during the week. All living presidents and dignitaries from around the world honored the 41st President of the United States at the National Cathedral. Anna Wernicke takes us through that emotional day.
With full military honors, the flag-draped casket of President George H.W. Bush descended the steps of the Capitol one last time. A presidential motorcade made its way through the streets of Washington to the National Cathedral, where all living former presidents and President Trump were among the more than 3,000 who gathered to say one final goodbye to President George H.W. Bush. Dignitaries included Prince Charles, German Chancellor Angela Merkel, along with politicians from both sides of the aisle. They joined the Bush family at the service. Former President George W. Bush eulogized his father.
He valued character over pedigree, and he was no cynic. He looked for the good in each person, and he usually found it. A great and noble man, the best father a son or daughter could have. And in our grief, let us smile knowing that Dad is hugging Robin and holding Mom's hand again.
One last Washington motorcade. One final 21-gun salute. Then the presidential 747, renamed Special Air Mission 41, lifted off from Joint Base Andrews to fly the 41st president home. In Washington, Anna Wernicke, ABC4 News.
George H.W. Bush touched the lives of many Utahns, even those who never met him. One of his visits to our state is a night one local historian will never forget.
When we learned of his passing, Utahns lined up to share memories and condolences for the man who dedicated his life to serving our country. Local historian Ron Fox says that's because of the type of person he was.
He was somebody who took the time personally. When you met him or shook hands with him, you felt like there was a personal connection.
Fox says President Bush visited Utah 3 times while he was commander-in-chief. While here, he visited the Huntsman Cancer Institute and met with the First Presidency of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. One of those visits also included an impromptu stop at Temple Square for a concert. Fox says it's his most fond memory of the president.
I remember very well him pulling up to door 6, and Wendell Smoot, the president of the choir at that time, came out and greeted him and brought him in, and the crowd just went absolutely nuts.
Fox served as an advancement, preparing the way for presidential visits. He says President Bush traveled extensively and always preferred being in good company. He says it was common for the president to show up at restaurants unannounced instead of eating alone in the hotel room.
He knew that it would always be a little bit disruptive with Secret Service being there and present, but then at the end he would go around and shake hands with people and visit with them briefly and make them feel real comfortable.
Back in 1997, President Bush was awarded an honorary doctorate degree from Southern Utah University. Coming up, supporters of Proposition 2 have filed a lawsuit against the state over the replacement bill. Our panel will debate the issue right after the break.